Wait. That was more security.
If you ain't talking money, then I don't want to talk.
Still gon' stunt. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slam. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slam. Then I'm still gon' stunt.
Not that I don't mind, it's just that it doesn't give David Morris vibes. So I thought I'd just start off with something a little bit more exciting. We'll start in 6 minutes.
Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slam. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slam. Still gon' stunt. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slam. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slam. Then I'm still gon' stunt. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slam. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slam. Still gon' stunt. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slam. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slam. Then I'm still gon' stunt. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slam. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slam. Still gon' stunt. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slam. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slam. Then I'm still gon' stunt. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slam. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slam.
If you ain't talking money, then I don't wanna talk.
Still gon' stunt. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles. I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like Jack boys. Catch them slipping and slam. Treat them like Jack boys. Catch them slipping and slam. Then I'm still gon' stunt. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles. I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like Jack boys. Catch them slipping and slam. Treat them like Jack boys. Catch them slipping and slam.
Okay, I thought we'd do something a little bit different since YouTube wants to, or not YouTube, but Streamer wants to act up. Welcome to the We-On-Loc Nation channel. I am your host, We-On-Loc Nation, and I thought we would do something a little different, talk about something that particularly the guys want to talk about. And I had a couple of clips that are critical to the conversation. So while we wait for other people to come in, let me give a little preview of what I'm talking about. First, when people come in, as people are coming in, hit the like button, hit the like, share, subscribe button. And if you are charitable enough, go ahead and hit the cash app. It's um, Desi 88 Desi 88. That's DEZZY triple eight. Go and hook your boy up with a couple of bucks, and let's get this stuff started. Now, as it pertains to the men and the women of the spaces, and also going out there in the real world and getting other people's opinions about a particular topic, a particular subject, this same subject, yes. Um, it's it's never going to end. This fake gender war between men and women, which absolutely doesn't exist. None of this stuff exists. The fight between men and women, black men and black women, it doesn't exist in totality. It doesn't exist at all. It's just a bunch of dudes who are angry and tired and haven't had their voices heard in a minute, even though it's been a couple of years. Um, their payback, this is what I'm hearing, their payback essentially because of the Ricky Lake shows, of the Oprah Winfrey shows, of I think of Geraldo and all the other shows who advocate for women. These particular shows advocate for women, and there's not one show that advocates for men. But as soon as they start having this here internet, they think, wow, our voices can be heard. Our voices can be, we can shout out to the gods once again. I didn't know it was going to be this much turmoil, but need it as it may, um, it's here, and hasn't had an effect on relationships. Most likely, yes. Has this had an effect on marriages? Some more than others, but at least they have their voices heard. And I'm not knocking, I'm not knocking any man for having their voice heard. No, I'm not knocking that. Hey Sheila, how you doing? How you doing, my love? I'm not knocking for any man not expressing their voices or hearing their opinions. No, I'm not knocking that. The one thing that pisses me off is a whole bunch of this pettiness and whining and crying and pissing and moaning and all this other stuff. Just wham 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 wham. It's it the whining and crying it needs to stop. But as far as expressing your emotions, expressing yourself, that's totally fair. It's totally fair. It's totally fine. Every man should express how they feel about one another. Now, here's the thing that we need to get right here and now. And this is the reason why I'm up here today. I need to know, or Umar, Umar needs to know something. If, since, let me go here. Since black men feel and fear that women do not respect them, this is the question that I am going to ask. I'm going to ask a series of questions when it comes to the men in these spaces and anywhere else where they feel that women don't respect them. Here it goes. First question: will women, the women, and I'm talking to women now, women, will you respect a man if he can handle his business at home? That's the first question. Second question: can you respect a man who goes out, makes ends meet, makes a whole bunch of money, and brings it home for his family? Those are basic, simple questions. Now, here's the hard part. Can you respect a man who is truthful, even though he has broken your heart, even though he has cheated, even though he has stepped out of his marriage, even though he is uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Risking his relationship, risking his all of that stuff, and he comes to you in truth. If he comes to you in truth, right? If he comes to you just with open arms and say, I messed up, can you take him back? Will you take him back? Because in this day and age, there is a lot of going on, so much going on mentally that they're having. I think it's mental month. It's mental health month, and a lot of these dudes out here are self-destructing. Some of them are committing homicide, some of them committing suicide, and some of them are just so sick of society. It's not just women. Some of them are just so sick of society that they just rather go out in their own terms, right? But I'm asking you these specific questions before we get started on this journey. I'm asking you, can you, number one, take a take a man seriously when he goes out and he makes ends meet, he goes out and he provides a home, and can you forgive him for cheating on you? Blessings, 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 Ryder, blessings, sweetheart. How are you doing? How are you doing? Can you forgive him for cheating? Can you forgive him for a lot of things? And most women would tell you, no, once he messes up, that's it. That's it. That's all. And it's on to the next. Well, how do you know that the next man ain't gonna do the same thing? And the next man, and then the next man. How do you know that the next man won't put their hands on you, act a little bit more aggressive than the previous man would? Would you? And I'll send the link for anybody who wants to have a discussion. It's a discussion that me and you particularly should have. Would you forgive him because you don't know what the next man is going to put their hands on you? You don't know what the next man is mental. You don't know what the next man is going to be. Uh, uh, what's the word? Misogynistic, not misogynistic. Uh, the word is an N word. It's an N word. It's not nerd. it's that's not misogynistic. I'll think of it in a minute. But if you get that ones that think all about them and think that they're all that in a bowl of chips, and then whenever they mess up, they end up putting it on you, and they ended up going to other people and say narcissist, a narcissist. That's what I was looking for. If you think that you can deal with a narcissist, which I know that you can't, if you can deal with somebody that can go out there and literally make a fool of you by having the victor become the victim, or the predator become the victim, and then all of a sudden now everybody's putting the blame on you as a female, would you forgive that previous man for cheating on you one time? Can you do that? I'm asking, can you do that? Yes, can be edited on the stream. So you mean to tell me I can't on the stream? I'm asking these questions for a specific reason. Now, there is a specific question that Umar wanted to ask. There's a specific question that Umar wanted to get into, and we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. Shouts out to Donnell Rawlings. Shouts out to Donnell Rawlings. Shouts out to Donnell Rawlings. Where is it? I'm rich, bitch. But these two, I didn't know these two were getting into it. Let's listen to what he has to say.
By themselves. But be that as it may, the fact remains that 67% of our children are raised by women alone. And so when a black woman has to raise the children, play daddy, okay, and mom, pay the bills, deal with her own issues medically, psychologically, and otherwise, and then turn around and be told that she's not humble enough for men, I can understand why sisters might react to that negatively.
But Omar, don't you think that men need to be men? Don't you think that men need to step to the plate? Don't you think that men need to be responsible for their kids? I have a young son. I have a young son right now, and my dad passed away 4 years ago. I have a 9-year-old son. And I remember my dad chose a lifestyle. He was a street guy. He chose a lifestyle that didn't give him opportunity to spend as much time with all of his kids. I can actually count the memories that I have with my father on my hand. Good memories. Yes. I'm not shitting on him or anything. And now with me having a son, I told myself, I made a pledge to myself that my son is going to have an endless amount of memories, and I won't be that dad that my dad was. I look at my son the other day at 9 years old, And I remember at 9 years old, my father was locked up. I can't even imagine that. So as much as I understand that you say we need to celebrate our black women or whatever, but I do think that men need to step to the plate more and hold those responsibilities, be loyal to their women, and take care of their kids. Do you also think, this is what I think too, do you think that the black community is the biggest threat to?
I need your help. I'm on a mission to recruit 10 million.
Yeah. I don't need your help, white man.
It's the second biggest threat. And the reason why the black community is not the number one threat to itself is we are not organized enough to be the number one threat to ourselves.
So how do we get organized, Umar? How do we get organized? I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be straight honest right now. I get so frustrated with our community because we do know the problem, but we don't have the solution. When do we, as people, get our shit together and say,
As one Sheila would put it to me, there are too many differences. Too many differences, too many complaints. Everybody's so separated. Everybody has their own agenda. Everybody has their own tribe, their own cult. That would be the reason why. But the only way that we can ever come together as one is we reconcile and we put aside our differences just for the sake of humankind. I mean, humankind, not you know. I don't care what tribe you come from. If you come from Pan African, because I'm not even worried about Pan African because Pan African caters to every African, whether it be African American, Black American, whatever you want to call yourself. Yeah, if you come from Africa, from that region, if you come from Haiti, if you come from Jamaica, if you come from China, wherever, whatever region you're from. But I'm talking about those people who generally call themselves FBA or Adolfs. I mean, they're just so separated. And we could get into the reasons why. One of them is reparations, okay? And the other one is, people coming over, people coming overseas and claiming shit. Well, we won't get into that. But the problem is here, starting here in America, you literally have a group of people who are separating themselves from men to women, all because of man's wants, and you can say woman's wants. But I often hear men, mostly men, all the time saying that they don't want to get married to a woman, they don't want a relationship with a woman, due to all these laws and regulations, and there's a fear of divorce and all this other stuff. And I never I've never been raised like that. But ever since the 80s, we've always had, ever since the 70s, ever since the 60s, we've always had voices. Our voices have always been heard. But now it's much, much different. Instead of fighting for equality, you're fighting for your right to become a man, become a black man. No white man will respect you. Can't you get that through your head? No white man, I don't care what generation it is, from then till now. Or of course they'll play with you, or of course they'll exist or coexist around you. They have no other choice. But ask yourself this question: if you are a black man, truthfully, I don't care about your job, I don't care about your way of life, your way of living. Ask yourself this question: will a white man respect you enough? And to me, I don't think he will, because he has too much to lose. He has way too much to lose. Even though we are still more, even though we are still more when it comes to the population, we're like what, 80,000. The white man still rules over your situation. It's about high time that we take back what is ours by independently building, your communities. Whether they're torn down, build them back up again. But most people just don't want to do it because the white man's ice is colder and all this and all this and all this. But more importantly, it's just the laziness. It's just the laziness. It's just the laziness within our people. It's the laziness in the relationships. It's the laziness in the marriage because you want too much. You want the woman to be underneath you and do all this other type of stuff. Women have been working and working and working alongside you for quite some time now. It's been decades. It has been decades. So do I think that things can come together? Sure. We're just gonna have to take those ones who, hey, Bridge, we're gonna have to take those ones who want to put in the work, who want to have the correct conversations at the right time, right? And we can agree. We can agree. I can admit that I was wrong as a man doing what I did. And I'm sure that a woman can acquiesce to the same thing. Once we move that aside, it's like, how can we build society, our type of society together? Because it's gonna take time. It ain't gonna take overnight.
Enough is enough. I saw another a post you had said something about, I guess I guess the nail people. Some you did these. Fuck, what was it? It was about us running like nail salons. Why don't we do this? Why don't we support?
Yes.
Why don't we support ourselves? And why don't we get managers to say, "Fuck this, something has to change," because people look at you as this is what, and I talk a lot. I'm excited about this. People look at you like Umar knows all the problems. On his platform, he talks about all the problems, but what are the solutions to the problems?
Institutions are 50% of the solution. And what I mean by that, Brother Donnell, we need to create our own infrastructure that we used to have back in the days of Black Wall Street, the Tulsa, the Rosewood, the Charlestons, the Wilmington, North Carolinas, so forth and so on. When we had our own, we feared much better.
Why did we lose it?
We still
How did
say
we
that
lose
again.
it? You said when we had our own. How did we lose our own? How did we leave that mentality of the Black Wall
White
Street?
supremacy came and destroyed it. White supremacy came and destroyed it. Systemic destruction of independent Black communities. But with that being said, though, we also have to keep in mind that the second and third generation of children from those Black Wall Streets did not value them enough to go back and rebuild them. Once integration came, the grandchildren of these Black Wall Streets, many of them decided that I would much rather live in a white community. I would much rather go to a hospital in a white community. I would much rather shop in a white community.
But why is that, Omar?
Integration was the economic destabilization of Black America.
But then isn't that a case of us not supporting ourselves? And I look at it.
Self-love is at the heart.
When you talk,
self-hatred is at the heart of every problem we have in Black America. It's the reason why when there's a police killing, we riot. And there's nothing wrong with rioting because you need to get the attention of the power structure. So I'm not against a riot. But the riot, the revolt, never becomes a revolution. It never becomes an economic revolution. It never becomes a political revolution. It never becomes a cultural revolution because there's not enough love there.
But
So
that's
one
what.
thing you need to proactively build for your community is love. Because when you love each other, you don't mind how much money you put in.
But then
When you love each
Love. That word we never stress enough. We never talk about enough. The love for yourself is for the love of your family. The love of your family is for the love of your community, right? So why is it that we have such a tough time in society? It's never talked about. Every love is an action. You damn right it is. But it's also a do. It's also a do for self mentality. It's also a recognize for self. When, and I hate to be biblical, but when Christ came down to earth, did he just start uttering out of his mouth, we need to handle our business this and business that? No, this is the reason why Christ started talking in parables to his disciples and then anybody else who would listen. But it also came out of not fear, not fear. Everybody's talking about God is to be feared. It, you could talk to God like I'm talking to you right now with less cursing and everything else. And God knows your heart. God knows your frustration. God knows where you've been. You wouldn't have buried it if that didn't even exist. But he's also a just God. Just God meaning you mess up and you don't repent. Well, I'm judge, jury, and executioner. But you can still speak to God as if you're speaking to the ancestors, as if you're speaking to me, right? We all should have love for one another. We all should have love for each other. But none of this stuff ever talked about because, oh, I've been hurt, I've been damaged, I've been this, I've been that. We all know that. We've been knowing ever since I think 2017. When did Kevin Samuel start blowing up? And no disrespect to the brother. No disrespect to the brother. What up, Coach D? People find more reasons to not love than look for reasons to. And that is because it's not in them. Well, at this rate, it should be. You know why? Because there's a lot going on than what you and I know. That everybody knows. And once this big event happens, whatever event it is, first it's the election, right? Then is the Venezuelans coming in and taking over stuff, right? They're trying to erase you from existence. I don't know why people don't realize this, but society is trying to erase black people from existence with all this interracial dating, all this interracial talk, blah, 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 blah. I didn't block you. For some strange reason, I'm still blocked. I did not block. Oh, I still need to fix that. I really need to fix that. But I don't even know. I can't do it right now. Like, um, love is a quintessential to your health. When we talk about hypertension, high blood pressure, diabetes, and stuff like that, do we not realize that it's like damn near the number one thing going? Heart disease is still the number one. Is still the number one killer in America, and we have the nerve, the illegated gall to talk shit about our women all the time. We don't never talk about health. We don't never want to talk about health. We don't ever want to talk about our children. We don't ever want to talk about anything that's irrelevant to what should be. Mental health watch, because this is mental health month. This is mental health month. We don't ever talk about mental health. But love is the first start.
Each other, you don't mind how much time you put in. When you love each other, you don't mind how much you sacrifice.
But Dr. Umar,
Black
what you're
people
saying
don't
is,
have enough love to work together.
but what you're saying is, again, to my point, that's the problem. What is the solution? I'll give you an example. I'll use Spike Lee as an example. You know, everybody like this, Spike Lee is supposed to be one of the best directors, making the most money, producing the most projects and shit, right? And he was down with everything black, black actors, black so-and-so. But when it came down for black people to put up or shut up, guess what? They didn't go to the theaters. Guess what? They bought this shit DVD, bootleg and shit. But if we know that the problem, what is the solution to this? Because people can say we can talk the shit all we want, but what is the change?
The solution is we have to institutionalize our communities. It is the systems that are destroying black people. The medical system, criminal and justice system, miseducation system. Let's take education, for example. Every state in America gives you the right to operate your own schools. And we have a rich tradition of independent black schools, a very rich tradition that was partly destabilized with the rise of the charter school movement. But with that being said, Brother Donnell, one thing that every black person agrees on, we might not agree on Kamala and Trump. We might not agree on Obama and Biden, but we all agree that the public and charter schools of this country are misserving our children. We
Damn,
agree
my
on
son
that.
go to a charter
So why
school.
don't we see
My
more
son go to a
independent
charter
schools in
school.
our community?
My son go
Because
to a
the
goddamn.
love isn't there.
But my son
Say
go
that
to a
again.
charter school, man. And guess
No,
what?
it might be a good one. No. He might go to a good one.
It's all white
But a lot
people
of
and
them are
Asians
not
and
so
gay
good.
people in that school, and it's gonna give him the best chance to win in life. My son asked me, I do a benefit for my son's school, right? It's a it's a public school, but it's one of those schools that people.
No. Charter schools aren't. No, they're not going to give you into the best positions to win. Are you crazy? If that's the case, then how come we don't have a whole bunch of black people competing for jobs, competing for positions, being competitive out there in the workforce, being owners? I don't see a whole lot of them out there. Charter schools don't make you. Hell no. Because they got too many people coming into this country. It's bad enough we had to deal with white folks all day, but it's enough not to bear a whole bunch of Asian people and a whole bunch of Arabs competing over you because they can't stand you. Have you ever noticed? Have you ever went outside of your communities? Have you ever noticed when you go to your grocery stores, you go to your gas stations? No, various ones, particular ones. Go to your malls or anywhere else in your city, in your state, and you look in your facilities and you rarely see any of yous working or owning some stuff. Like here in Las Vegas, I can only count out of my fingers possibly few owners who are black or black owners who suddenly own their own stuff. I can count how the many of my fingers that I have to drive out, literally drive out, and see very few of us owning some shit. Very few. And you mean to tell me that charter schools, even regular schools that don't even educate your kids properly, and this is the reason why I say California, Nevada, and some parts of I think Dakota or South Dakota, their educational system is garbage. We are second Nevada is second when it comes to piss poor education. You really think they're really taking care of your kids? Hell, they don't even teach you Black history. Sure.
About property in the area just so their kids can go to that school. And I had to do a benefit. And I said, I'm a little nervous. I said, I'm a little nervous about doing the show. He said, why? I said, because doing the show in front of the teachers and the principals and everything. He said, Daddy, just do what you normally do, but don't curse, right? And when he said that, I wanted to say, what the fuck you mean I can't curse? I was like, it's cursing that got you in this school. I said, it wasn't me hanging around in the schoolyard going, it looks like this schoolyard could use a little bit more diversity, which I knew existed. I had to go up there like this, where the motherfucking Black people in here?
Right. Well, charter schools have a very interesting history. Charter schools were not originally founded to serve Black children. They were founded to serve white children.
Right.
And when Black people started opening up charter schools, and of course, Philadelphia, we are the first Black charter schools in the country, and we have the most charter schools in the country here. But at the same time, we also have the most charter schools that have been closed down, too. So they systemically target Black charter schools to sabotage and shut them down because the charter school movement was never meant to serve our kids. But the bigger issue, though, is that charter schools are still public schools. They're still publicly funded.
Right.
Okay. What we need is independent schools where we control the curriculum, we control the design, and we control exactly what our children are being taught. There's not enough love there. There's not enough love for us to come to give and buy up some of these abandoned schools and turn them into schools for our children.
Why can't we get our people to buy into that? Why can't we get our people to understand this school is a Black school, but it's still a good school, and we hold more prestigious schools as an example of how I want to educate my kids? Like when I was growing up, of course I know it was Black people going to HBCUs or whatever, but the thing that was the platform, like the shit was, oh man, he got a chance to go to Brown. Oh man, he got a chance to go to Yale. How do we switch that and make people want to support the educational system that we develop ourselves?
After this video, your life is never going to be. So I need you to stop whatever.
Because of 246 years of psychological indoctrination on a plantation has convinced Black people that anything the white man has is better than anything we have. We still believe that. That's why we'll send our kids to a racist white private school where they're going to be miseducated, special educated, psychiatrically medicated. We will do that. Why did you send them to a white racist school knowing how your son was going to be treated? Because we believe white people always have a better product. And the only way you change that is through what? Education. If we never take control of the education of our children, we will never be a free people. Freedom begins in the mind. And until you first establish psychological freedom, there will never be political, economic freedom. Well, we must build our own schools before we change anything else. There must be a psychological revolution, but it can be a financial revolution, social revolution, any kind of revolution. Black boys have to be taught to respect and honor Black women, and Black women have to be taught to respect and honor Black men. All of
But apparently there are those who will vaguely disagree. And we'll get to that in a second. Actually, in a minute. The sad thing, though, even my business, I depend on non-Black people to keep in businesses. I have one Black client outside my family. That happens. Most Black people I know usually go to other races for the same services. And I can tell you this, depending upon where you live, that if you have not too many Black people, and I can name, Oklahoma, Minnesota, and there was another one. If you have a population with just white people around, that's what you're going to get used to. You know how excited you're going to be when you see a Black person, like literally. and there's no black people around, and you just see white faces all day, and all of a sudden you say, "Oh my God, is that a black couple?" And you just go crazy. And with the companies like this, I mean, certain companies, I guess, I don't know, they say that black people don't know how to act in this and that and this and the third. Black people ain't gonna be on time. Detroit, I don't think so. No, not my beloved town. Well, not my town because I'm from Lansing. I've been to Detroit so many times. Maybe it's different. Maybe it's different because I haven't been out there in a while. Maybe it's quite different. Now, I'll take your word for it because I hadn't been out there in several years. But if that is true, then Detroit's in trouble. I go out, I've seen all these videos where there ain't nothing but black people in Hockey Town. Ain't nothing but black people in Hockey Town and Court Town and Mexican Town. They just go out there and they stroll the parking lots and stuff like that because all they do is have parties out there. But they don't have not one business where any and everything is black owned. That's a problem. That is a problem.
This is education. The black community does not have its own educational paradigm, and that's why we're suffering.
I know I'm a Washington Commanders fan, and I want to give my team a chance to win. And I understand my man Joe Buttons, my man Drewski are all in the same situations I am wanting their teams to win. So how can I get Prize Pick to help me win?
Well, obviously there's ways to play fantasy with Prize Picks,
I usually play fantasy different way, but the fact that I have an opportunity to win, the fact that my Commanders are doing so good, the fact that Dallas Cowboys sucks, and I could be a part of Prize Picks to get in the first place. And in the script, the response was, I never heard a white woman say ain't shit. Do you think in our community that black men are frustrated with the perception black women have had of men? The put downs.
Absolutely, black men are frustrated with the perception that black women have of us, but we're partly responsible for that.
How so?
I'll give you. Let me give you this one. I believe that if black men today, right now, you and I and all of our brothers, there's about 20 million African men in this country. If we would just take responsibility of the raising and the protecting and the educating and the succeeding of our boys, if we just told black women that we are now responsible for all the boys, y'all got the girls, we got the boys.
And I'm with you 100%. I am 1,000.
Stay with me, Brother Donnell. If we did that, I believe black women would begin to respect black men again. One of the biggest reasons our women are so frustrated with us, they don't see us taking responsibility for the raising of men. And in African culture, teaching boys to be men is always the responsibility of the men.
I agree with
in the
you.
Village. It is never the responsibility of the women. And for me, as a school psychologist, nothing upsets me more, Brother Donnell, than when I go to a community football game, I go to a community basketball game, I go to a community track meet, I go to one of these hip-hop studios, nothing but black men. They're all over the place. And then when I go to a special education meeting for his son, when I go to a report card conference, when I go to a back-to-school night, I can hardly find a black father in sight. So why is it we can always be at the football and basketball games, but we can never make it inside of the school? That's why our women are angry at us.
Yeah, and
Ooh. Well, and you know what, Dr. Claude Anderson, he even tried to making things in Detroit seem a little bit darker than normal, right? But of course, every black man in Detroit, I don't know what the problem is with Michigan. I have no idea. Whether it be Saginaw, Detroit, um, uh, P- Port Harbor, Ben Harbor, whatever. I, Grand Ledge, Jackson. I don't know what's going on. I really don't know. Hazlitt. I don't know what's going on. But what I do know is that if you're from Michigan State and you are in business, if you're venturing in a business model and you will become a business owner, shouldn't you start spreading your seed around for other black people to flourish? I have no idea what's going on. But apparently this is the reason why the Ku Klux Klan usually comes up in there and they start taking over. Oh, thank you so much. Sorry, my son was bringing me some food. Let's continue.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, but then you have this is kind of interesting. What happened in some of these broken families, whatever, when you have a black man that's trying, right? Mm-hmm. He's trying to the best of his ability, but he still gets shitted on. He still gets spoken less of. And you have situations that I'll put it like that. I'll use Tyrese as an example. No, the trials of his life is always on he's always on social media. But then what happens when you have that person, that person is angry in a relationship that puts a wedge between how this guy wants to raise his kids and how he want to be there for them, and he has to deal with all this bullshit with baby mamas that don't want to be supportive.
It goes back to the trauma. First of all, I believe too many of us are dating before we have healed from past trauma, post-traumatic relationship disorder. Why are you out here looking to build another family when you have not properly healed?
Because we horn dogs. We horn dogs. We like pussy.
But that's the problem, though. There still has to be spiritual discipline. Let's look at the Sphinx. The Great Sphinx of Giza in Kemet, one of the most popular archaeological symbols in the world, right? The Sphinx is a symbol of a man taking control over his nature, all of his desires, all of his impulses. And once a man is able to subdue and control his aggressions and his passions, then he can ascend to God.
But we can control
as much as we love our women, as much as we love them, and I love them to death. They're gorgeous.
I know, nigga. I see your face in them pictures. I see your faces in them pictures. I see you have your cute face. I see you have your cute face. And you be acting light skinned in your pictures. I seen it.
Yes, sir. There's a time and a place for everything, though.
Right.
And I think too often black men are abusing and exploiting and taking advantage of the fact that there's not enough of us to go around, not heterosexually speaking. There's not enough of us to go around. And because black women don't have much to choose from, we often make them suffer again by giving them whatever kind of treatment we want them to have and deal with it because we know they really don't have anything else to go to. We are abusing the very creation that the white power structure has put in our community. We're using it to our advantage against our women, and it's not fair.
I know this is a crazy question. I'm right now, and I know you like black. In my special, I say the black person. You have never, ever experienced a hot tool situation from a white woman.
When I was in college, undergrad,
I knew it, son.
I had a class.
I knew it, son. I knew it was a college. I knew it. Okay, go ahead. Get to it.
Okay. She was attracted to me, and she was attractive, and she was built like a black woman. She had the hips, everything.
Right.
And she was very much attracted to me. I remember when I went to the Million Man March, the first one, October 16th, 95.
You took a white girl to the Million Man March? Oh, Lord, please don't tell me that. I'm hanging this goddamn thing up. No, don't tell me that. Farrakhan would not fuck with you right now. God, no. All right, okay.
I don't think it was no snow bunny. It was no snow bunny.
You knew it was a snow bunny. You knew it was a snow bunny.
No. But there was some snow bunnies at some of them follow-up Million Man
And I'm going to tell you something. This is why
See, I can't have a conversation with Donnell. Even though he's funny as hell, you can't have a conversation with him. Honestly, I would be broke if I didn't rock with other races. And that's your right. I look at it this way. If you are owner of your own establishment, wouldn't the point being is to have black people come to you and spend money with you because you are the owner? Now, I would like it if you would hire a bit more people who look like you, and that's your choice, that's your right. But the point of nutrition is to have not only black people, and I would love it if black people would actually spend money with you more than most, but have everybody spend money and make your establishment grow. And then to see other people who look like you build foundations right next to you, just like Chinatown. Just like Chinatown. That's the point of it, isn't it?
I want to get to too. I know how you feel about that.
But hold on, let me answer that though, brother. Right. Let me answer. So when we came back from the Million Man March, she put a card on my desk. Mm-hmm. And I didn't see her put it on my desk. I went up to talk to the professor, psychology class. When I came back, there was a card. And it's a white school, so most of my classmates was white. Right. I said, did y'all see who put the card here? They said no. She didn't care if they saw it.
Right.
I opened up the card and all this glitter popped out all over.
Yes.
She was honoring me for taking the initiative of going to the Million Man March, right? Which I thought was, commendable. But what I had to explain to her and other white women since then who have shown a romantic interest in me
is don't put the apple slices in the potato salad, right?
I respect you.
Okay.
But I am 100% committed to and loyal to the black woman. So you and I can never have anything sexually or any other way, because as a freedom fighter for African people, I cannot create family with anything but a black woman.
You should have did it for freedom fighters. I'm talking about.
Nigga, what is so special about white women? What is so special that you have to have a white woman on your hip? I would like to know, as a black man in America, why the hell would you? What is so important? What do you think? This is some good ass turkey bacon. Do you think that white coach is better than black coach? I'm asking y'all. Do you think that black coach has decayed? Think we should do a hell no. Coach D, come on, bruh. Come on, bruh. I'm asking, truthfully, do you think that white women are better than black women in all categories? I don't believe you. I don't believe that you believe that. I don't think that you believe that, coach. Come on, coach. Come on, coach. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Become a member of the We-On-Loc Nation channel. Not hiring, but customers. Not hiring, but customers. Even when I was doing real estate, I always hired black people for services, but like Umar said, black people look to others, yeah, sadly, like com competition, so they go for to the others, and because they feel that they're going to get something more rather than starting something for yourselves and not getting the results that white people get. How do you know you're not getting the results if you don't try? And if you have an established business and you've been having it for many years, why would you give it up to your competitors? Why would you do that? For money? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? It ain't all of them doing it, but why would you do that? Why can't you? It is called passing down something that literally is going to make the next generation, your generation, wealthy. I just don't understand it. There's going to be some rules and regulation. If we get reparations, there are going to be some rules and regulations to this here.
But the ones that was in the front line. I'm talking about the chicks that was in the Peace Corps and spent time in Africa. What about those white chicks? Because can any white chick ever get a pass?
At the end of the day, Brother Donnell, at the end of the day, and you need to understand this.
I don't want to understand it.
All Caucasians.
You, Katie.
All Caucasians are racist.
Oh,
stay with me. I want to understand. I want you to understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying that all Caucasians are bigots.
But do we have time to worry about?
I don't believe every white person thinks they're better than black people. I don't believe every white person wants to exterminate black people. I don't believe every white person thinks we came.
Once again, I would like to ask you, Donnell. I gotta get Donnell on this here. Donnell, what is so special about white men? He must be married to a white woman or something.
From jungles and animals, and I don't think every white person believes that. But I do know that all Caucasians appreciate and are willing to protect the white privilege that they receive as a result of black oppression. And there has never been a Caucasian in history that has fought to eliminate white privilege.
Do we have?
And we need to understand that. So no matter how much a white woman may like me, at the end of the day, she is the beneficiary of my oppression.
Question, Dr. Umar. Dr. Umar, have you ever heard of Tipu Tip?
Tiku, who is that?
Tipu Tip.
Who the hell is
I
that?
don't think so. Is that a person or?
Yeah, Tipu Tip was actually the largest slave trader in all of history. He was actually a black man, you know? And what he would do is he would go in the forest and he would tell people, hey, do you want to find some ivory? We bring this to the coast. We're going to get all these riches. And then right when he get to the coast, he'd trap them in Zanzibar. Do you feel like in a certain sense, when you have these divisions between white and black and we make things about race, that it's all it does is just divide and make things worse and worse?
Motherfucker. There is always somebody who literally would do that escapism shit. It was like, whatever. We just need to come together. If we don't come together, we're going to divide. Okay, well, give me some of that land that you stole from my ancestors, mother. Give me some of that land. Let us develop our own, and then once we get once we have been established, once everything is said and done, once we generate that money 8 to 12 times in our community, once we get our shit together, then we can get along. But right now, we're just looking to put that knife in your back, just like you did us years ago. The hell was wrong with people? Come on with these. Come on.
You want to heal the divide.
Yeah.
between black and white.
Yeah.
We have to heal that divide in every sector of society and not just in social interaction. And what I mean by that is to say, if we want to heal the divide, when are American Africans going to get our portion of the share of America's wealth that our ancestors built for free? If we want to heal the divide, when are we going to get our portion of the banking industry, our portion of the resources, our portion of the land? If we want to heal the divide, it just can't be healed in the bedroom. It has to be healed in the society. And once we begin healing society in every aspect of life in this country, then we can talk about it. But normally, when we have conversations about healing racial divide, they're limited to social interaction.
Yeah.
That means nothing that you and I can sit down and have a respectable conversation. It means nothing that you and I can sleep in the same hotel or eat at the same restaurant. What about the political power? What about the unfair distribution of economic power? What about the unfair opportunities that exist in this society? What about the unfair criminal justice laws that send black people to jail much, much longer for white people than white people, even though they committed the same? We have to deal with that. Why are black boys being suspended and expelled out of America's public and charter schools way more than...
Hold on. He cooking. I gotta let it sizzle. I gotta let it sizzle. Just gotta let that shit sizzle a little bit. Keep your equality. Give me the equality. Keep your equality. Give me the equality. That's what I'm on. Again, put it on the pan, let it sizzle a little bit. I want to hear the sizzle, because he cooking. Let him cook some more.
White boys for the same crimes. We can heal the divide, but we can't be hypocritical, and we cannot limit this to romance and social interaction.
What can we...
That flame came up. That flame, don't get the fire extinguisher. Let it burn. Just get that steak out. Cooking as usual. Everyone hating on fucking. I'll get into the agate possibly a little later on next week. Doing some stuff this week, but a little later on, I'll get to some people who just act just gay. Just gay when it comes to Umar. You're just gay. That's all that is. Well, just act gay. But I'll get into that next week.
Then make something that heals the divide instead of create a system where like people get hoodwinked and tricked and it feels like more of the same, where we just are like one big Orwellian 1984 circle.
We don't want that shit. We want to be mad at y'all white people.
I believe the best thing that America could do, the best thing that white society could do to begin to heal the racial divide is to redistribute the wealth of this country to ensure that black people received their just portion.
All right, Omar.
Until there is a redistribution of the wealth, so that we get not only what our ancestors were due, but what we are currently due as well. That is the first step to healing the divide. Anything short of a redistribution of the wealth is pure hypocrisy.
That's far-fetched.
So what does that look like in a micro environment? What does that look like in a micro environment? Like we're in a room right now. We have a room full of a mix of white people and black people. We have businesses going on. Like, what are ways that we can do that in our certain circle right now?
Nevada families deserve a future they afford. Senator Rosen is the leader who...
Oh my God, man. Yeah. I cannot wait, bruh. Good things are coming my way.
First of all, we have to make sure that those who actually control the society and make the major decisions are present during this conversation. So it just can't be everyday citizens there.
And that's the hard part. That's the very hard part of it. And in order for our women to respect us once more, in order for our women to look look up to us again for not just physical support, mental support, spiritual support as well. We're going to have to take back some stuff. And if we have to shed a little blood just to say that we're quite serious about some, even though even though there's going to be some sacrificing, a lot of people don't want to sacrifice. That's why you have people, crawling to the white man for some shit, crawling to the Arab for some shit. We don't know how to make proper sacrifices and are scared to. Because once again, the white man's ice is colder. But I ask you, how cold is it when he has you hanging from a tree? How cold is it when he has you out on the street begging for pennies, pitching for pennies, going in trash cans for food? I look out in the north Las Vegas area, and there ain't nothing but black and white people just out there pitching for pennies, going into trash cans for food. Every once in a, I don't know if it's every day, but when the shelters open up and they start feeding people, you start, feeding into your own, if you will. And this is the primary one of the reasons why they don't have many men facilities, and they have women facilities all over, because you keep getting them pregnant. Keep kicking them out, getting them pregnant while they're on crack. Those facilities is not just for the women, it's for the children too, who are pregnant, who are being beat up, who are being raped and literally dragged through the mud. And then they have to start pitching for pennies and going into trash cans for food. What the hell's wrong?
Because we don't have the power to force concessions from big business and from government. We got to make sure there's representatives of Congress there. There's representatives of these multinational corporations that are there. We have to make sure that all the true players are involved, so that the decisions that are made at this round table are in fact enforceable. Because we can come up with a blueprint, we can come up with a plan, but it means absolutely nothing unless it is enforceable. We have to make sure that it is enforceable.
But doesn't that require us relying on corporations? Like, because Donnell owns his own business, you own your own business, I own my own business. We're all operating right now together. Isn't there a way that we can operate or have conversations and take the power that don't require corporations?
Well, but you still have to deal with the fact that many of America's major corporations had direct investment in. Some of them were created through the institution of slavery and Jim Crow. Yeah. Let's take Brooks Brothers Clothing for an example.
Yeah.
Brooks Brothers Clothing got their start by making clothes for the enslaved Africans on the plantations in the southern states. There's no getting around the fact that Bank of America,
I didn't know that. I did not know that. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. I did not know that I was wearing Brooks Brothers. Whoa, my God. All those years, and I did not know. Oh, well.
Fargo, many of these financial institutions got their start in the trafficking of enslaved Africans. So we have to deal, with that reality. We have to deal with the fact that the United States government codified our enslavement, that they reduced us to articles of property and not human beings. Where is the reparations that are due to African people that will serve at the basis of this restitutive
We've been talking about
process
we've been talking about reparations for years, and at the end of the day, my feeling that we never going to get reparations. So what do we do?
Why?
Why haven't we had it now?
Why do you feel that way?
Because I don't see the steps is going. I don't see the steps moving forward to get people to understand what our issues are and give us the money back. In fact, I might be a little ignorant to this. You have probably way more knowledge than me this, but how do they do it? How do they do it? How do they do it with like a stimulus check? How do they give us?
land and to get in. I think our representative is. I think our representatives is in Britain. So in order for, I don't even know, but when it comes to a specific number, I and many others have already estimated per family how much they should be getting. Anybody who can trace their lineage back to those times where your ancestors were injured, enslaved, and or injured or in death. If you can trace those people, trace those lineages, but that's few and far in between because guess what? Most of our grandparents are deceased. I know mine is. But let's look at it. Let's look at it here. Let's see what he says.
No. For me, in my opinion, a cash payment, if there is to be one, should be at the bottom of the reparations package. It should not be the only thing, and it should not be the most important thing, because America's money is not on the gold standard. It's not on the silver standard. It's not on any mineral standard. It is a promissory note. It is empty paper. And if we allow this government, this country, the most powerful country in the world, built on the backs of black labor, to pay us what they owe to our ancestors, the greatest crime in human history is going to be paid for with money that has no mineral equivalent, that would be a great loss to us.
But you know,
we should be paid in land. We should be paid in resources.
But you know, brothers gonna take the money. They're gonna take the money.
Industry.
They're gonna take the money.
But then, you know, for example, with the land argument, right? Like, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with Mugabe in Zimbabwe and that failed land experiment.
$15,000, $34,000. These are real checks.
Yes. And I supported Mugabe in taking the land back from the white settlers because they had no right to be there in the first place. They were only able to get land in Zimbabwe as a result of colonization.
But then obviously you talked about inflation being a problem, but Zimbabwe had the worst inflation in history under Mugabe and the...
I don't give a damn about no inflation. Give me my check. Give me land. What does it say? Give me liberty or give me death. Give me liberty or give me death. Give me liberty or give me death. Give me my check. Give me my land. So I can restore my people again. So I can help my people get healthy again. I can have my people be free. In order for us to be free, we are going to have to go to war. And if we have to go to war with the people within our community, so be it.
Economy completely tanked.
Well, they also didn't control their own currency, as most African countries do not control their own currency. Their money is printed in Europe and it is maintained in European banks. So how can it truly be independence?
And I'm so sorry that I had went this far, because that's not what we're here for. That's not really what we're here for. We're here for if the women, I guess you can say that it does add into it. And I'll say it like this. If we were to start with the boys, have them, take them underneath our wing, right? See a boy on the, if we take care of the reins. If we see a boy without his father, and we all know he's out his father because most likely he's going to be, most kids are with their mother half the time, right? And you can say either or. It's like she left him, he left her. We can go through all that for days and days and days, hours and hours and hours. What if? If we see that child and that child gets in trouble, should we be helping that child get him up and pick him up, not just physically but mentally? Should we help this child? Should we help other children, other than our own children, become men, become wise men? Should we be helping these children become warriors to help the masters of the world? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the first sign. That's the first sign that you should that women should have gained back a little bit more respect for men who are supporters, support of society and getting our black boys back to the point where they're professionals, professionals at everything in life, being professional men, being professional in anything when it comes to this economic system, being loving men again to our women, teaching our men that no, you can't just go around and getting and getting women pregnant. No, if you get that woman pregnant, that's your responsibility. People talking about bringing shaming back. Should we bring shaming back? I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. It's all about how it's orchestrated. I can get my kids to follow the laws of the land if you can get your kids to follow your rules at home. It's all simple. The question is, how many people are going to be in alignment with us? How many people are going to be in alignment with us? Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Let's get it. Let's get it. This is what I really wanted. I mean, the counteraction to the counteracting to the counteraction. Now, he said his piece. Umar said his piece. The reaction was a bit. Some people agreed, some people didn't, and it's to me when I heard it from Aaron O. Shouts out to Aaron O. That's my bro. But his problem is always that horizontal issue of child support and women, you know, gaining control of everything. And I don't think women don't have control of shit. What do women have control of? Oh, they can go to the courthouse and get X, Y, and Z. And I was like, no, they can't. Because most men who, or I should say this, most women who file for divorce and file for custody of their children, they lose at least 60% of the time. Now, I don't know if that's the statistics. I just know that I've seen plenty of plenty of shows, court shows, all of them are real, that women have to pay the man child support. Women have to give up their children to that guy. That's what I see, which is really, really sad on both sides because I am a believer of the children having both parents in the home. That's my belief. I don't care what none of y'all say. That's just my belief, right? We have too much of this separating going on. It's way too much. Way too much. Sheila, I know you in here. Where you at? Now, here's some reaction. The victim card. Right.
Like, yo, I
See that, this, I'm so tired.
I ain't defending no men. Fuck men, bro. It's up.
Damn, Lee.
If you ain't shit like normal things, like I'm not having a baby until I'm married. That's what good women gonna say. That's what my girl said. My girl said, "What? Baby?"
Nope.
My girl said, "I ain't have no man in 3-4 years, so we get to know each other." Yeah, you want the girl that's gonna have your baby in a week, so you deserve everything that come from that woman.
You think a guy? No, Shal, we got to move on. I got to move. I can't.
I'm winning. Checkmate. Can I say checkmate now?
I can't, man. I can't.
You playing chess against yourself. What you mean?
I'm winning.
You the black and the white side of the chess game, bro.
Listen,
he is special breed. He is special.
That is crazy.
Special breed, man. All right, we got to get to this Dr. Umar, okay? All right. Dr. Umar was recently having a conversation, and when he spoke about a way in which men can get the respect back from women, right? I thought it was interesting, and it's something I want to cover. But speaking of children, because Lee don't care if you do somebody dirty and you get this baby through on you, do we all agree that children cost money, right? Do we all agree to that? Yeah. And I do think that if you are not the primary caretaker of the child, then you should definitely be paying some level of child support. I don't have no problem with that. We all agree to that? All right, cool. So we at least have a baseline of understanding, right? We don't believe in there being no bum or nothing like that. We believe in the baseline. All right, so now let us get to Dr. Umar. Okay, he was recently on the podcast of comedian Donnell Rawlings, okay? I forgot his nickname, but y'all know what I'm talking about. But they were speaking about some serious topics in conversation, and Ashy this Larry. One came up. Oh, yeah, Ashy. There we go. That's Ashy Larry. Ashy. I hope he got rich off of that. I really do. I hope all these men get this money that they rightfully deserve. Okay, now let's get into the video.
Do you think in our community that black men are frustrated with the perception black?
This game, you're not.
Black women have had of men to put downs.
Absolutely, black men are frustrated with the perception that black women have of us, but we're partly responsible for that.
How so?
I'll give you. Let me give you this one. I believe that if black men today, right now,
he's about to get into what black men have to do right now.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I know. He about to get into it. Now, look. I don't necessarily like the image that's put out there, but I'm starting to like the newer image that's starting to get put out there. It's starting to get a little bit better. We're starting to get a little bit more side. We're starting to see the differences. So it's getting gradually better, but it's going to take some time. But Dr. Umar said we are responsible for how women view us in our image and all that, right? So he's about to present a way to effectively change that. And let's see if this is something y'all agree that can be done.
Responsible for that.
How so?
I'll give you. Let me give you this one. I believe that if black men today, right now, you and I and all of our brothers, there's about 20 million African men in this country. If we would just take responsibility of the raising and the protecting and the educating and the succeeding of our boys, if we just told black women that we are now responsible for all the boys. Y'all got the girls, we got the boys.
And I'm with you 100%. I am 1,000.
Stay with me, Brother Donnell. If we did that, I believe black women would begin to respect black men again. One of the biggest reasons our women are so frustrated with us, they don't see us taking responsibility for the raising of men. And in African culture, teaching boys to be men is always the responsibility of the men.
I agree with you.
Village. It is never the responsibility of the women. And for me, as a school psychologist, nothing upsets me more, Brother Donnell, than when I go to a community football game, I go to
right there. Let's stop right there. Dr. Umar says that the way we get the love, admiration back from women is to take care of the raising, the protecting, the education of the boys. Let them have the girls. Y'all agree with that?
Nah, I think for some women, yeah, I'm sure that it'll help. But some women, it's just they don't give a fuck. They don't care about that, man. They can be disrespectful. They're gonna be whatever they're gonna be. I just really don't know if it's gonna move the needle. To be 100% honest, I do think it'll make us more respectful, respectable. I do think it will mend some things in the community, but I just don't see on a large scale people changing who they are. And when I say people, I mean those women. I just I just don't see it. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see it.
And that's his opinion, but I would say this is the reason why 50% of us fail most of the times because we don't want to experiment on anything. Let the chips fall the way they may.
How about you, Lee?
Yeah, man, I don't see it either. Is he talking about like just regular men taking care of other people's babies, or is he talking about like the men take care of their babies that they created? Because he didn't really.
He talking about what I've been talking about for a long time. It's men's job to fix our community. Now, I agree with that part. I just don't agree that it's going to have that effect on women to make them now become respectful. A disrespectful person is disrespectful by choice. You know what I'm saying? It's not a matter of circumstance. If when me and Lee get into an argument, we disrespect each other by choice. When Aaron gets mad, Aaron don't go to disrespect because he chooses not to. We choose to. You know?
I need Sheila, if you're still here, I need you there. Any woman in attendance, man, are women gonna be respectable? Our women are gonna be respectable to our men, to the men, excuse me, to the men. Are they gonna be respectable if we do these specific things? If we change our communities around? I don't know. They have to see it. They're going to have to see it and they're going to have to believe it. But once they see it to believe it, they're going to have to respect it. Otherwise, it's a problem. Otherwise, I mean, if it does happen that way, and the women, I mean, if they don't want to, they don't want to respect the man just because they actually turn the shit around to the point where we have infrastructure, to the point where we have young men, young boys acting like young men, right? And they don't see that, then why should I don't know. I don't know. I question the ladies on that. I really do.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Saying.
You know, it won't change nothing because men are gonna make the same mistake that Two-Time made. They're gonna get with the lowest version of us. I've heard men up here say that they don't even want an educated woman. So again, it ain't gonna change nothing if you still gonna have sex with a woman that's that girl that we just said ain't shit. You know, men gotta be better at who they choose to have a baby with. Would be the first thing. Like, we would have to be incredible at that shit. Like, no more babies should ever be made by a thought. No more babies should ever be made by a woman like the woman you just showed us.
Let me ask you a question, sir.
But do you agree?
Because like I get it, but you mean a known thought, right?
Well, not a thought, a hood rat, a girl that has low education. Like, you could put a plethora of different things in there, but yeah, a thought shouldn't have a baby. A girl who has low education shouldn't have a baby. A girl who has a woman who has no money shouldn't be able to have a baby. Meaning that black men need to go, yo, what's your, instead of saying I don't care if she have money, because it's really about how did she get the money. Unless she's an OnlyFans chick. Go ahead. Sorry.
You're putting a lot of stuff out there. So how do you gauge education? Because mind you, I don't have a degree, right? But often in my day-to-day process with people, they by default think that I do.
Cute. Doesn't fit you. Just think of all your accomplishments.
I have a collegiate type of degree and all those things. Just
I'm at this teacher just tells you showing me mad shit, and then at the later on she top the bar. I mean,
I believe Dr. Umar is correct in his assessment when it comes to Black women respecting Black men again, right? We have to get to the point where the Black men in our community, where we become willing to fix the brokenness within our community, right? And Dr. Umar, he made the point that if we would at least tell our women that, hey, we at least will take care of the boys and raise them as good, upstanding men, right? He's talking about making sure that each and every one of the boys, in order to become men, they're recalibrating their value systems, right? They're going to have a good sense of structure, stability, masculinity, and leadership, right? Now, the problem that we have is when Black men are still kicking up against it and rejecting it, right? It's saying, no, why should we have to do it, right? Why should we have to get involved in mentoring young Black boys? To me, when I hear those kind of things, it's disheartening, right? Because even now, I am mentoring 8 kids that don't belong to me, that I didn't create, right? And I am dedicating myself to make sure that they have a recalibrated value system, to make sure that they're worshiping a higher power. They have honor, they have integrity, they have loyalty, they understand self-reflection, they understand how to take accountability, they understand how to ascribe themselves to responsibility, and they understand how to be loyal, right? I'm also teaching them how to communicate, specifically with women, right?
Shouts out to Brownsville. We need more tyranny. We need more Brownsville. We need more Brownsville.
Not like the Rim brothers are teaching people how to communicate, but to uplift the woman, to get back into the natural order of manhood, which is to protect women and children. And that's all Dr. Umar is speaking about, right? So why are men rejecting that message?
Well, let's talk about it. So I didn't give my thoughts on it yet because I want to get everybody else's thoughts because I knew what he said and I've had time to sizzle on it, right? I don't know if you think there's a difference between a single dad raising a child and a single mom raising a child. Do you think that in either or, do you think one has a higher success rate, or do you think it's pretty like it's pretty even? The outcome could be anything.
I believe that it's better for men to raise boys to become men, and for women to raise girls to become women. I think that's logical, Aaron. Though.
Okay, so no, I hear your answer. Now obviously if I have a daughter and I don't have a son, you think the child should still be raised by both of us, but if the choice had to be made, give the child to the mom and vice versa. Okay, I got it, right? So the reason that I take a little bit of disagreement with Dr. Umar is because I live in today's time. And I don't believe that women will respect a man for raising the child, and them having to pay child support. See, because I originally asked the question to Sean, do you think the person that is not the primary caretaker of the child should be paying child support if they're not the primary caretaker? And he said, yeah, because in a person's default mind, they think, oh, yeah, if you ain't there in the home, you're not taking care of your child or something, you do need to pay that woman child support. But in this scenario, the mother is saying, here, son, go to your daddy for him to raise you. He's going to be the primary caretaker, educator, and protector of the child. I do believe I should be the primary educator of our children. So I get that aspect. But the mom paying me to raise my child, I don't see any woman in high understanding to say, because children cost. So if the mother had just a child herself, she still would be requesting child support. So the reverse should be the same. If I'm
so how did we go from raising children to having a woman pay me child support? How did we go from there? See this distinction, see the separation between, and this is why I say, can we at least focus on this one thing? I guess that's too much to ask for one person, since we live in this time. Since we live in this time, when we live in this era, screw all that. We live in it. There ain't nothing ever going to get done because of the pettiness. That sounds petty. I'm willing to get it however I can get it. If I get my kids, and I get some other kids that I can love and discipline and take care of them under my roof, feed them my food, give them clothes, put clothes on their back, make sure they get the proper education, and then flourish into however, because once they leave the nest, they leave the nest. And the only thing you can hope for is that your teachings, your discipline, your love is going to inspire them to not do anything foolish. So how did this other thing come about? How? It don't make no sense.
I'm primary caretaker of a child. Yeah, I'm gonna do the educating and protecting, but send that money over here too. You think we get respect if she had to pay to be a parent as well?
But you see what you just did?
I didn't do anything.
So Dr. Umar is having a conversation about men stepping up to the plate, raising men, right? Mm-hmm. And what you did, Aaron, is, well, what about the woman?
I didn't do that.
Once again, the number one rim brother tactic is to put it back on the woman, right? Oh, so now since we're coming to this agreement as men, because there's two men talking, right? Mm-hmm. It was Dr. Umar talking to another brother about what his proposal is to solve the respect issue between women and men, right? And he proposed that men take a step up. We talked about men stepping up, right?
Mm-hmm. He proposed it.
Right? So that's what his message was. Mm-hmm. And now I'm talking to you, brother Aaron, though. Mm-hmm. Instead of you talking about men stepping up, you talking about, well, hey, if men stepping up, then we got to add a caveat to where the women are now helping the men step up.
Yes. So I'm breaking down what he said and how men can gain respect. So women are part of.
No. That's when I pause you. You ain't slick. No. You ain't fucking slick. You are not slick. I'm breaking. No, you're not. No, you're not. Aaron, you're too smart for this. You're too smart for that. No, you're not. You're not breaking down anything that Ifa Tunde has to say. In order for us to be men, we don't need that money. You have money. Why do you need the woman's money? But you were men. I mean, anybody wants to disagree, please disagree with me. Let's have the conversation. Let's have the conversation. What did Umar say? See, if I were to tell you that Michael Jordan was going to come out with the next shoe that is like the retro 11s, retro 11s, and they were Kobe Bryant's. They were in the form of Kobe, because Kobe, I don't know why Kobe Bryant has Jordan shoes, but anyway, and the 11s look like Kobe's, right? Got the gold, got the purple and everything. And these things were like $210 with tax. That's $237, $232.99, and everybody was lining up. It was a line forming up for them doggone shoes. Why are we talking about anything else? That is just so simple. It's simple when a alignment of Negroes lined up for those one pair of shoes, but we can't get to one little freaking issue and say, yes, we can accept that men control the boys and the women control the girls. We can't even get into that. We can't say yes to that, which is a problem because you are so selfish in your fucking horizontal issues. But if women wanted, if the real respect is women give up that child support. I didn't know you were on child support. I didn't know Aaron was on child support. Is he?
The conversation. I don't never need to blame nobody, right? My own life is a reflection of my actions, right? I'm saying in this scenario, I don't believe women will respect any man if they have to pay him child support for their own child. I don't. Now, if you're saying, yes, we get the primary caretakers of our son and all this, and she paying us, like these men need to step up. If you're okay with that, then we're in agreement. I believe this conversation is based upon a man that receives no support for his child from the mother financially, even though we all agree that a child costs money, and if you're the primary caretaker of a child, the other parent should be paying for that child some child support. We all agreed upon this until it was a scenario in which the woman had to do the paying. Then, of course, you pop up and go, dun, 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 dun. No woman should have to pay. You're a real man. You about to do this whole spill up. And that's cool, but I just don't believe we going to get no respect if what's done is the right thing, which is to pay. Hey, here you go. Raise a child. Here goes some money. Raise that, and we good. I don't believe men are turning down money from women that want to pay them to raise their children. I don't think so.
But and here's the thing, right? And that is the mentality that's going to continue to hinder our community, right? Because men, for some odd reason, they always want some type of handout, right? Either it's one or two things. Either they want to complain about women, or they want women to just hand them out extra benefits, right? Men, listen. Men and women aren't equal. We got to understand that.
Say it again, please. Please say it again.
Men and women aren't equal,
Thank
right?
You. They're not equal under the law?
Under God's law.
You have a you have a legal obligation to pay for your child, men and women. Facts or no facts?
Mm-mm.
Money, I'm a flex. I get that money, I'm a flex.
That's not what we're here for. That's not respectfully, that's not what we're here for. That's not what I'm here for. That's what I would have told him if I was wrong, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for the I am here for the initial question, which is, are you willing to take the reins are you willing to step up and take our boys back? That's the initial question. That's the initial question. You see, all this the child support thing, that can come later. You have to change that as a man. You have to change that through law. You forcing a woman to happen to do all that, that's between you and the woman, right? But if she's not willing to do that, then you're going to have to take the extra measures to see that it's done. But that's not the original question.
Oh yeah, you in my world over here, Mr. Brownsville. This is the Aaron Noland right here.
So you're talking legally. Yes, you're correct, right? I get what you're saying. I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong, right? What I'm saying is what you're saying is not going to solve the problem, right? And as long as you keep that weaker form of mentality of a man, we're going to continue to regress instead of progress, right? You see, the issue is this. We men have to understand that God intended for us to maintain the higher burden, right? To not put the heavier burden on our women, right? To take charge, to solve problems, to be leaders, right? And to figure out how to be successful in life and take care of our families, right? And what has happened is men has regressed to this point to where you're speaking of this house husband, soft guy era, weak man era type of situation.
I'm speaking to Umar, sir. I'm speaking specifically to Umar.
Even have a conversation about men stepping to the plate and doing more without you adding, well, hey, if I got to do more, she got to do more. Right? It's always some type of comparison with a woman or competing with a woman.
You on my show, and you know you can't get away with this. I never said she had to do more. We all agreed. Sean, you hear this stuff, Sean.
Yeah,
don't make me do this.
He was talking supplement. He wasn't talking talking more. He was talking supplement. When the woman has the kid, the man, our job is to supplement if you don't have custody. What Aaron was speaking to was, if like you said, if the man has the kid, then the woman has to supplement in some way. She has to put in somehow. She can't just kick back and just get mani-pedis and watch TV all day. She got to do something to put on for this community. I'm like you. I've been on YouTube for a long time saying everything in the black community is up to the black men to fix, to lead. My only thing is I don't think that guarantees that all black women will then be like, oh my God, he's respectable. I think I never heard you or Aaron O curse nobody out. That's because that's not on the menu for y'all. Y'all not gonna do that. It's not an option in terms of online. I don't know what you do in real life, but maybe for me, sometimes I lose my temper. You know what I'm saying? But a person who like if you don't smoke weed, I don't smoke weed. I don't drink right now, so it's not an option. I'm just saying, like, for people who are disrespectful, we choose to be disrespectful in those times. Some people choose to never be disrespectful. I don't think people who currently choose to be disrespectful will all of a sudden be like, you know what, I'm going to be respectful to these people. They're going to be disrespectful.
Well, Sean, you got to understand what Dr. Umar is talking about, right? Mm-hmm. He's talking about community-wise, mm-hmm. how men can get more respect from our women, mm-hmm. because of the situation and circumstances that the black man has put our people in, right? And here's the thing. See, Aaron, no, when you're talking about this reciprocity thing, or you're talking about, hey, well, you got to do something thing, right? I mentioned to y'all, I'm into 8 boys right now, right? Do you think I'm getting any supplement for that? Mm-mm. Do you think I expect any supplement for that? No, because in order to progress our community forward, there's going to have to be some sacrifices made by black men. And we cannot always be looking for supplements. That's not what Dr. Umar is talking about. Dr. Umar is talking about, hey, what can we do to extend ourselves further? Women, by and large, and if we do that, if our women see us stepping up by and large to that point, they won't be online complaining about single mothers anymore, right? Because there's always going to be a man that's going to fill in the gap and take that boy and raise him up to be a man, an upstanding man, right?
Bruh.
So solving problems because the women are taking care of the daughters, right? And the men are taking care of the sons, right? And what Dr. Umar's vision is, what he's saying is, if the men step up and raise these boys into strong men, right? That by itself is going to put the woman in position to now come back under the leadership of the man, because guess what? Now men are going to become better problem solvers. Now,
and I do believe that. And I believe, and if you're expecting all, if you're expecting all women to fall under the same umbrella, then I don't see that happening. But it to at least have the majority of women say 40%. 40% is good enough for me because that can always change. And hopefully in a good way. Is you have 40% of women following under that same umbrella of, if men were to step up to the plate, that they were going to be respectable to us again as men, but for those who constantly keep blabbering at the mouth that men ain't this and men ain't that, and being single is good, then we don't need to be with those people. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to negotiate or discuss anything with the Priscillas or the Priscillas, the divested zealots of the world. We don't need to. We leave them in. We leave them in the dust. We leave them in the dust because they're no good to us. I'm saying that the women who want to have an understanding, they want to have an understanding of us, just like we have an understanding of them. But if they see us taking care of business and actually meaning that shit, then I can faithfully say that 40% and higher will definitely acquiesce to what we are doing.
they're going to become more honorable. They're going to have more integrity. They're going to have more self-reflection, right? They're going to have more masculine traits of a man because another man has shown them how to self-sacrifice, has shown them how to put themselves to duty, have shown them how to be benevolent towards women and children. All of those things necessary that we need to
the problem is, this is the problem, right? I never made reference to even supplements. I think people should do what they are obligated to do. And as a mother of a son, you are to provide for your child. If I have a child and I say, hey, look, I ain't gonna be around, go to your mama, and she like, yeah, okay, so you're not gonna be able to be around as much and do what you gotta do. Nah, I'm gonna send you some dollars though. Okay, thank you for at least sending some money. That's the least you can do, is what they say. So I'm saying, look, legally, the least a woman can do is also pay child support while that man is being the primary provider, caretaker, educator, protector of the boys. And I'm saying we won't get no respect if they have to pay. Now, if we just did it and they ain't had to pay no money for their own child, we probably would get respect, right? And I'm saying we are giving, you're saying men and women are not the same. Well, unless you want to distinguish who is better, which I'm not sure if you're willing to do, the women have been getting congratulated. Oh, thank you so much for holding down when the man left and you stayed, while getting supplemental support while doing that. They were not accomplishing these goals without no supplemental support. So when you say they stepped up, well, if you show me women that are stepping up with no supplemental support, then I'd be like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. Most of these references are with women that have supplemented support, that are stepping up. And a large scale of them have been supported by government funding, which is totally fine because the large majority of the community, we poor and broke, remember? So I'm aware of that. So I'm just saying, I don't believe this will work, Mr. Umar, because we can't get respect if a woman does what she is supposed to.
That's again, that's the childish thing to say, because most people need government support because they're not getting jobs. And nowadays, you're not getting jobs because you got people from overseas just taking over everything. And you're left and you're left pretty much in the dust because they do not like you. They do not respect you as a black man. Now, if you had your own shit, hey, Travel One, if you had your own shit, maybe, just maybe, the women would respect you again. Why does child support have to be so? You only pay. Oh my God! What if you work at McDonald's and you make $16, $17 an hour and your check comes up to like $1,000 or something like that? You're paying 300 of that. 700 with taxes. I mean, shit. I mean, taxes is taxes, but $349 of that money you giving up for child support. That's what I'm told. That's what I'm told. That's what I believe. And it is what it is. If you would take a child, I mean, hey, I feel sorry for most niggas. No, I don't. Because you're not taking care of your children. Let me put myself on the big screen. You ain't taking care of your children. I'm so sorry that, if you would handle your business instead of acting selfish and foolish and getting women pregnant, I guess it is what it is. It is what it is, son. Now, I don't pick on people who actually handle their business. I don't. For those who make babies, take care of babies, get rewarded. All right? And they won't have to deal with child support. They don't have to.
Supposed to do and monetarily provide for her child. Only respect a man if they don't have to put any financial money into their own child while a man is doing all these things, which fine, but that's not technically right because he's the primary caretaker and children cost money. So you're not only talking about sacrifice, you're talking about going above and beyond, not just above. You want above and beyond. And you want to sell to people as if everybody has the capabilities to go.
Women go above and beyond too. It's not just you. It's her too. So both of you are in a pickle there. I'm sorry, Aaron, and I'm sorry for those who think like him. I ain't going for that. That's an excuse. That's just being petty. Once again, and I'm sorry for it, and I'm sorry if you feel that way, and I'm sorry if all the women had all these shows and all these books that degrade men, and we degrade women too sexually. I think it's just time it's time to start a whole new. It's been time for that because we're lost in this. We pretty much lost in the sauce on this one. If I had a choice, it'd be me, Granville, and two other people of my choosing along on this side of the women that we pick. We'll go on the island somewhere and we'll just form a village, small little village. And my kids will have kids. We'll just form a small little village because this is just disgusting at this point. We can't answer a simple question when it comes to the boys. When it comes to the boys and when it comes to the girls, the men are going to take care of the boys and the women are going to take care of the girls. Can we agree on that? That question still hasn't been answered yet.
Above and beyond, and everybody does not. Everybody has the capabilities to go above, but not the beyond, buddy. And that's what my gripe is. Dr. Umar, he is not even going to even be doing these actions. Now, I believe he's talking about men raising their own children. I don't necessarily believe he's talking about men just raising all the kids in the community getting together, because I could make the argument that one man could raise 7 kids then. So we really don't need all men to do that. Some of the men can be a bunch of losers. We just need a few good men to raise them. If that was the argument, and that's not what he's presenting. He's saying the men need to do this, the men need to do that. I think I think primary caretakers of children should be financially compensated because that's the way it has always been. But I don't think men get respected if they are what you call supplemented by things that people should legally.
Negro, if one man can raise 7 kids, then how come we can't find them motherfuckers nowhere? Either they're dead or in jail somewhere. How come we can't find them? How come we can't find a single individual, right? A single person, black person, to take care. Mel Gibson can do it because he has money. I can't say the same thing for Sean Kemp. Sean Kemp's broke. I can't say the same thing for ODB. Oh, I forgot. He's dead. Shorty Mac, whatever he's called, he's dead. So white people can do this all day, every day because they have money, power. And this is the reason why most black women acquiesce to white men because they handle their business. And on top of that, they can at least agree on a couple things. And those a couple things that get shit done.
I agree, Aaron, with that. With essentially kind of it. I didn't see the Umar video, but just when I was talking about it, I can understand a little bit of what you're talking about. To Brownsville's point, I understand what he's saying because I understand.
Don't trade alone. Trade with me live. You want simple strategy, and I'll help.
Because I understand there's a difference between men and women, and there are reasons why things are what they are based on our choices and our decisions. How we look at each other, how we treat each other, it makes sense. And then,
financially compensate, financially compensated. Yeah, he's talking about that in a sense where, since women are backed with the courts, backed by the system, that it will be apropos that women, if they want men back into the kids' lives, that women give up that money. Not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. They're your responsibility anyway. Yes, they're your responsibility. So I don't see where the compensation. She wanted. Put it this way: whether if I won or if she would have won. Let's just say I won, and I have a daughter, and I don't quite. I can't. Let me see. How do I say this? How do I say this? If I can't really I mean, I can discipline my child. I can tell her when to go to bed, when to brush her teeth. But when it comes to all those this genetics and stuff that y'all go through, I can't do all that. So I have to bring in someone who is a female who is experienced through all that to tell her, when she's making ketchup and shit like that. You know what I mean? And if she's having problems, female problems, that women have to take care of that, right? But I don't want to be compensated. I don't want to be compensated. That's my child. That's your child. And this is one of the reasons why I hate it when men and women had to go to the court system to deal with the situation. You're asking too much. You're asking the white man to take away your rights. That's what you're asking to do. Yeah, Bridge, I don't understand it myself. I don't understand it, but this is what Aaron wants.
But to Aaron's point, Like, it's not going. Of course, it's double standards. It's not going to be like, okay, a woman is going to supplement a man. That's not going to happen in that way. And again, she's not going to respect the man. She's not. But the thing that I believe that most people, not just women, but people in general respect is integrity. And if you're going to stand for something, stand on it. Even the bad guy can get the check because, again, he's standing for something. Maybe not something that, be positive, but because.
Man, these dudes is absolutely have given up on women. They've given up. They totally given up. Now going back over this again, there are those who have given up on society as a whole. I can tell you, and that's the reason why we can't depend on these people. We cannot depend on these people. We can only depend on those who follow us. And who are we? I am really going to, even though I am Loc Nation, I do represent the Loc Nation. I do represent the Loc sector, but I also represent the Beef Sector 8, which, by the way, Shish Trish, incredible live last night. Even though I came in late, I was just so tired. But look, she's married. I'm married. We can do this thing together. And I am this close to saying, well, maybe we just need married people. Maybe we just need married people to come on stage, to come up on here and represent us as a people. As a matter of fact, I just want nothing but married people. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody else but married people to have their opinions, because you have a man there and a woman there to give their opinions. Right? And if we come up with something if we let's just say of course we're going to start small. Let's just say we're going to go on neighborhoods and say hand up a whole bunch of hot dogs and chips, hot dogs and chips to the kids and the family. Hot dogs. Ooh, I might just do that. Just like $2. $2 worth of hamburgers, hot dogs, and chips. I might just do that. Fire up the grill, go ahead and grill them some bitches, and just fire up the grill and be like, yo, $2 for a hot dog, $4 for hot dogs and chips. $4 hot dogs and chips. Hell, I might just buy a case load of pop. There are variations of pop and stuff like that. Start raising a little bit of fun and money. Start raising a little bit of money. And the little bit of money that we do raise, it'll be our choice of whatever we want to do with it. It'll be our choice. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Are we willing to do that in our own neighborhoods? Right? That abandoned center, maybe we can raise money for that. But is everybody going to want to do that? It's just like Umar's situation, right? When it comes to the school, everybody wants better. Everybody wants better. Oh my God, look at these. Look at this in the ceiling, and the tiles are not on the ceiling. It has there's a whole bunch of wire work that they're working on. But you're not looking at anything else. You're just looking at the ceiling. And that's why most of these Negroes, most of these agents sound gay as hell. But this is not about Umar per se. It's about the actual question that was being initially asked. And Umar asked it. Now, my question is, can women respect us again if we were to take the boys back? If we were to take the boys back, if we were to take the community back and have the women acquiesce to the women, have the men acquiesce to the men, and then teaching them how to be boys, teaching them how to be successful in life, helping them to be successful in life. Same thing with the women. Wouldn't it be a better off society? Jesus Christ, this is getting too old for me.
He has this code that he's standing on. And this is discipline, whatever he's doing, and inspires her in some way. That's what she's willing to go with. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can look at any person, whether negative or positive, the people they pull towards them. Why do they get pulled towards the good and the bad people? You know what I'm saying? Whether it be
Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Am I missing something? Am I missing something? Am I being harsh? Is it wrong for me to want something better for Black society? Is it wrong for me to say that? Is it wrong for me to want something better? I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it at all. And it's totally stupid. It's totally freaking stupid to want something to better society and to then dummy it down with more horizontal shit. The women are not doing what they're supposed to do. The women have the government on their side. No, they don't. No, they do not. The only reason why they're going to the government for support is because knuckleheads don't support them. Knuckleheads don't even handle their business. Knuckleheads don't even take care of their damn kids. They're throwing them in the trash can. Once the baby is born, they're throwing them in the freaking trash can. Literally. And you expect me to... We had a conversation the other day, and it's quite funny. I don't know if I landed in Mars or something like that. I don't know if I hit my head too many times. As long as men are... I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe that men are this dumb. I just don't believe it. I get sick and tired of it. I just don't fucking believe that these men are actually this damn stupid. Except for Brownsville. Because Brownsville's married and he actually wants to change society. It's in his actions. It's in his actions that he wants better for society. He wants better for Black people. Well, we'll talk about that part later. He wants better for society. And we're not getting it? It's all these fucked up horizontal issues. We're not controlling it. We never done this. Our voice has never been. Who gives a shit? Who cares? You have the internet, right? There has been more than one person. There's been multiple people who have been the voice of men, and you have completely ignored them. They're all dead now. There was one thing that Jeff Brown was on the Zoe morning show, and they even said it. 30, 40 years from now, you're going to be begging from the same thing. All your actual leaders are going to be gone. And only thing you're going to have is like one or two people. But they're all bought, paid, and sold by the Republicans. They're bought, paid, and sold by the Democrats. And you're going to be falling for them. You're going to be kissing their ass, man. All you had to do is you had ample time doing it. Getting along with your women. I understand that there are problems within problems, but you mean to tell me that there's not one amongst you? I've done it before. I can't do it by myself. So they mean to tell me there aren't one of you all to say enough is enough. Enough is enough. We're tired of all the whining. We're tired of all the complaining. And there are groups of individuals, when they come in this country, they get grants, they get special privileges. And within 6 months to a year's time, they're already set. They're getting thousands of dollars worth of food stamps, right? And they're taking over your establishments. And the only thing that you have to bitch, moan, and complain about is a woman not being submissive to you. That's crazy. That is crazy.
Like the Joker or Scarface or Obama. Why do these people draw in people? It doesn't even matter. It's the fact that they have integrity and they stand on something. And the fact that it won't waver. And they're not the people who are being told what to do. And they actually have to figure out what they're doing with their life. And they're going somewhere. They have direction. If you're that type of person, you're going to end up pulling people who get behind you. It's because you stand on something and you're going somewhere in life. You know what I'm saying? So if you want respect, in my opinion, for the community, you have to be someone who's willing to do that within your own household first. Like legitimately, like the community starts at home. Families are the cornerstone of every community. If you look at our community, quote unquote, how many broken homes are there? So how can you have a strong community if there are so many broken homes? So what you can do, starting with yourself, for the most part, starting with yourself, just you guys here, invest, reflect, and look in yourself, and then try to get, I would say at least, some type of critique from your family and how they view you. Like, get an honest heart to heart. Be like, yo, how you think I am in the family? Because in my family, I already know who leads, like who the real men are in the family. You know what I'm saying? Like, legitimately. And even me, I'm with that.
Marvelous.
Sorry, go ahead.
You breaking up though too. I think
Oh,
y'all
my
are
bad.
missing the heart. Y'all are missing the heart of what he's talking about. The point of contention that we having up here is not really what the men should be doing. It's how the women are going to react as a result of what the men do. That's the real point of contention. That is the real meat and potatoes of it all.
And I say again, how are women going to react if men are going to do what they're supposed to do for society? And if they do act a part, if they um, do their part in society, will women, like share, subscribe to the channel, like share, subscribe to the channel, will women, let me see, what? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh my God. Ugh. Oh, another thing. Do not go to the gas station. If you go to the gas station, you go to the pump. This is just a sidebar. If you go to the gas station, right, and you go to the pump and you pay by the pump, don't do that. Go inside. Because the first thing they're gonna do, the first thing that it does is it takes it's like it takes your whole, for some odd strange reason, it takes like a third of your check or a third of your money for whatever crazy reason it is. Just don't let them do that. Go inside and pay for it. Just a sidebar. Now, let me go through let me go to the chat. Why are they worried about something they don't know? What do you mean? Why are you worried? Why are they worried about something they don't know? What is it that they don't know? I do know that they don't know that the um the height, well, not the height. This thing is critical. They don't know how critical this shit is. All right. For those who are married, I don't even know why you're in it. I don't even know why we're in conversations, single conversations. I don't know why, but we just are. Maybe we can learn something from somebody. Maybe we can. But how is it? If anything, there should be married couples having discussions with, I guess with single people. I guess they are worried about how the women will react. Well, that would be my question, right? And the curiosity within me was saying, yo, what would the reaction be? Would you respect? And this is the reason why I asked the question earlier. You weren't here. I said, what if we were to take we were to take the boys back? We were to take the boys underneath our wing, under our wings, and teach them how to be men. Teach the young boys how to be men, and the results is not to have them shoot up a neighborhood, not to have them shoot up a bar or a gas station, have Dragos and all this other nonsense, and just not just play video games all day. You're going to do your homework first. You're going to do your homework and you're going to do your chores first before you get into all this nonsense. I'm talking about specifically to that. Specifically to that. If we can do that, and they grow up to be grow up to be strong young men, right? Let's just say, for example, I wouldn't want them to do this, but if they want to, they can, because it'll better them. Kind of, sort of. I wouldn't do it if they would join the military. Black men have no business in the military, but if they want to, if you think it'll better them, if they, excuse me, I'm sorry, if they think in their mind when they grow up, if they think in their mind that the army will be better suited for them, I wouldn't I wouldn't steer you no other way. I wouldn't steer you no other way. You go ahead and have that. Only thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be praying for you those whole 4 years, and hopefully you wouldn't have to go to war. And when you come home, we'll be with you, and we'll be right there celebrating your return with open arms. That's the type of shit that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about all this external stuff. It's ridiculous at this point. The true men need to teach. Well, what are the true men? I can say Aaron O's a true man. What true men are we talking about? See, the thing about it is, I'm not mad at nobody. I just don't get it. Again, I can't do this shit by myself. I'm not gonna sit here, and this is what they want me to do. They want me to uh, be more criticizing of the women. The women ain't your problem. It's you. If I was a woman, I'd be like, it's not the man, it's you. You. Look in the freaking mirror. It's you that's causing problems. You, not anybody else. Not the men, not the you. Who raised that boy to become a failure of society? Who raised that boy? You, or did you raise him? How did he get that girl pregnant? How did he leave that? How did he leave the boy, his children, high and dry? How did he do that? If you were to reverse it, how did she get pregnant? How is she gonna be irresponsible and let that boy nut in all up? Why did she had to go and get Section 8? Why does she have to go and get Section 8 and get food stamps from the government, go to court and take that man to child support court? It's too much of this. I'm moving forward. We all know what's going on. We've been knowing what's going on for many decades now. It's time to move forward. Done with this whoring.
I understand Brownsville, but what I think to go along with what you're saying, I think we need a cultural realignment. I think we need a reprogramming. I think we need to bring shame back for men and women. I think there has to be shame for a man for not taking care of his community, for not building, for not feeling responsible for the well-being, the growth, and the growth of the community.
Let's ask Lucky Marie. Let me see. Question. Let me put a kind in there. What do you think a woman's reaction would be if the men were to take full responsibility in taking their community back by being responsible for the boys and the women being responsible for the girls? Economically and family wise. Let's see what she says. She's more of an expert than I am. But let's see.
Has to be shame is one way of saying it, but women have to start to take pride again in being the mothers of the community. They have to take pride in that. You can't just be like, I'm out here, I'm out of town thugging with my rounds. You can't just be sexy red at age 45. You can't be that. You got to be the mom. I got to know that if my daughter's walking down the street and she's doing wrong, that Brownsville's wife is going to be like, Taylor, what are you doing? Don't make me call your mom. She got to do that. You know what I'm saying? That has to happen. So we have to realign our community and we have to reset our culture. All the music, all the TV, all the goofy shit that they see us doing and hear us doing, we have to make it to where that's unacceptable.
I don't want to be nice. I don't want to be and totally in alignment for what Sean is saying. But let me say this. That's not going to work because people need to work. People have to work. People want to be this. People want to be that. People want to be actors. People want to be actresses. People want to be, anything that's high earned pain, especially in this society that we live in where things cost a lot of money. We can't be doing all that. And not every man makes six figures. Not every man makes six figures. Not every man is a seven-figure nigga. All right, we do what we have to do. And this is the reason why there are not one, but two parents in the home. Right? And we do what we got to do sometimes. But if they want to be this, they want to be that, as long as they ain't showing their woman parts to every man, that's fine. As long as as long as man isn't doing this and doing that unnecessarily, then that's fine too. If I'm getting that right. But if you're talking about just as a whole, just staying home and taking care of the kids while the men go hunting, well, feeding their family financially, you know what I mean. But if we're talking about that, then society is too far gone for that shit. You're gonna need something extra. You're gonna need something more, and unless they give us at least $25 an hour starting on every job, which that is not going to be the case at all. Most people start 22, $25 an hour, but most of those jobs you're going to be educated. You're going to have an education. And I'm not waiting another fucking 4 years to get educated over some shit that I could have gotten a long time ago. And my family's starving right now. I'm done with all that shit. I am done. I am done paying for an education that I have spent over a year and not getting any results. Fuck that.
To go along with everything that y'all talking about. So it ain't just a matter of, the men are doing better. Yeah, that's great. We need to do that. Absolutely. But also the women need to understand what's acceptable and what's not acceptable for them. And they have to hold each other accountable. Like we have to hold each other accountable for B saying Beans. That's your nephew, bro. You know this nigga out here shooting, nigga. He listen to you. Get that nigga to stop shooting, my nigga. That's one of the little moles. He under the fire, nigga. That's one of your guys, nigga. Man, go holler at that nigga. Like real talk, we got to hold each other accountable in that way, and that's how you start to shift culture because we hold each other accountable.
Exactly.
Right, and it starts with the men, right? And when it comes to shame, right? I need to shame you two brothers right now, both you and Beans, for having those hoodies on, right? Looking like y'all about to go out.
That's the man who be wearing a ski mask every other time we see him.
And Beans got the hoodie on with the shades. So
I've been sick all week, man.
Walk up in the spot, they gonna think he there to rob it, right? So listen.
You know what, Bridge? I do love you. I really do. But trades ain't shit. I'm sorry. I've been studying for 2 trades, carpentry and HVAC. All of them ain't shit. They just kidding on them fucking Mexicans out there. That's all they're doing. Maybe I'm in the wrong city. I told my wife a long time ago I'm in the wrong city for this. No, instead, gotta find a way. So whenever she puts, "Oh, gotta find a way," I had to go, okay, fine. But these trades ain't shit unless you knock down doors. Unless you know somebody that can get you that job and say he's a good that man is a hardworking man right there. I've been with him. He knows how to put together along. He knows how to tear apart as well as put back together because I've been there and done all that. And let me tell you, when it came to that paycheck, I said, I'm on my way. When I got my first paycheck, right, I thought, damn, I'm on my way. I am on the way. I was just so excited because we used to get paid every week, right? $19 an hour, but that shit increases, right? And I'm thinking, I'm on my way. Dude comes up to me and says, "You're a 45%, and you're not supposed to be here on the lot. So I got to take you back to the office." I said, "What? I mean, you can't put in a good word in for me?" "No, I'm not supposed to do that. This is some white guy." It's like, oh, I'm about to see. Oh, Pops is coming through. You know what I told my father? My in-law, my real father, he's been deceased for ever since I was 14. But I had a conversation with my father-in-law and my mother-in-law, and at a time when I couldn't support my family, and my son just got his bike. We're trying as hell to he doesn't know how to balance himself quite just yet. He'll get there. He'll get there in due time. Even if we have to put the training wheels on him, he'll do just fine. But now it's like uh, my son got the bike, but I didn't buy the bike. His grandmother bought him the bike. That really tore a hole in my soul. That a man cannot provide, and I understand how a man feels when he can't provide. There's only a couple options: either suicide or I'm gonna have to rob some shit. I don't want to go to jail, and I don't want to end up in hell. So what do I do? Right? What about handyman? They are very popular with single. I don't. They are, to be perfectly honest. But you gotta love handymen, and women love handymen. They do. They really do. And this is the reason why my wife, she loves and respects what I did, what I wanted to do. But when I couldn't do those things, all due to you have to be in this category and that category. Yeah, you have to be a 55 percenter to be here, and because there's pre-apprentices, right? There's pre-apprentices, and there's apprentice, and there's journeyman, foreman. You get the message. Journeymen, they can go in. Journeymen, they can go anywhere. They come back. They're still if they don't want to do it anymore, they can not do it for over a year. Come back. They're still journeymen because they get the experience. How come I couldn't get that experience? And this is why I say fuck Las Vegas. But if I went anywhere else, I bet you I have a better opportunity than I would here. But my wife doesn't want me to go anywhere, so I'm stuck. I am freaking stuck.
Listen, all I'm saying is this. When men are getting together and we're trying to figure out the solutions that is going to be necessary to propel our community forward, right? We should not be then looking at the women. We should be focusing on what men need to do. How men, as Aaron O put it, need to be going above and beyond. Like I said, if I had that mentality of Aaron O, which describes me being a person that wants supplements, right? And I should be going to those young men that I'm mentoring, the parents, and saying, hey, I need you to supplement this and supplement that and pay me for my time and pay me for the activities that I'm doing with them and pay me for all the things that I'm doing to instill some good, solid values into these young men, right? Then what am I even doing it for? That's the problem, right? It's a thing called selfless service. And without selfless service, we're only going to hinder our community, right? Because everything isn't going to be reciprocal, right? Sometimes you're going to have to put more labor in before you even receive the reward. And I believe that's all Umar's talking about. He's saying men, by and large, stepping up, doing more, taking more responsibility. And when the women see that, men are have a more vested interest in propelling the community forward, then they're going to.
At Viberg, we're experts in small business insurance.
Naturally begin to be more respectful of men.
You know what, Brownsville? I agree with you, man. Also, I think when it comes to men, I think one of the biggest issues is we do a lot, not we, but a lot of people in general procrastinate. And you had to figure out, well, why the procrastination? Why the laziness? Why the lack of motivation? Why are men in general not trying to move and progress in life? And it is the old saying, saying like, easy times bring soft men, hard times bring stronger men. There is definitely a fact to that, some wisdom to that, because you figure with everything being made simple, this microwave generation doesn't have the patience to deal with themselves to even try to, as man, just to try anything, because it's like, well, what's the alternative? What can I do? And then you just get excuses why you can't do this and that, and then you become exterior and not interior. Basically, looking at yourself, you look at the world, you start comparing yourself to others, like, well, why they got this? And now you're in your feelings because you're looking at how the world makes you feel rather than going by what you know about yourself. And you ignored yourself in the process of trying to move forward in life. But again, this all starts from like, are things easier today? Oh, hell yeah. If you compare, I'm in the military. If you compare us compared to the guys of the 80s, it's night and day. If you compare the 80s to the 50s, it's definitely night and day. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, we are different men of different times.
Well, okay, you would take a breath and feel some relief. But here's the thing, Bridge. You know that the men are going to be like, so will you be submissive to us? Will you love and respect us once again? And all that's going to come up. And like I said, show me more than you can tell me, is what I would tell anyone, right? Show me more than what you can tell me. And then I might just respect you again. That's what a woman is going to say, right? It's not just have a sign of relief. That's, I mean, anybody can do this and be lazy. It's like you can't have step this. You can't have step it. You got to go all the way. Once you are in it, you are in it all the way, right? You're in it all the way. Ain't no half stepping in this. This is serious business, right? If you're gonna do something, if you're gonna be a senator or a mayor or something like that, you can't half-ass it like Kill Kirkpatrick did from Detroit. You can't do that. You can't just, oh, I'm the mayor, so I can spend a whole bunch of money. Nah, nah. You have a duty and a dedication to your community, to the society, right? Because they're looking up to you, right? Just like they will look up to us. But oh, I got a fly stuck in my. All right, let's see. Where are we? We played a few minutes of this today. We're gonna play a few minutes of this and we can bounce.
And this is what Aaron kind of hits on a little bit, because he understands men at this age and why they are what they are. But it's like, well, how do we mitigate against that? And that is a very tough thing to get men motivated when, for the most part, the number one thing that motivated men is women. But women are attracted to weak men. So we're kind of at a dilemma in the moment when it's like, well, what can we do for men naturally? Because if women was the motivation, but you're not the thing that women are attracted to, what's going to motivate you now? You know what I mean?
I hate y'all.
Love you, Beans.
Yeah, he not. Yeah, let me get caught up on these super chats real quick. Donnell Hawkins says educated women can be bat-ish crazy. Also, yeah, they probably like number one on the PhD levels. Farewell to Jack says don't expect a goodbye. Women commit. She won't notice even.
Formed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may prove what is good, what is acceptable, and the perfect will of God, right? So, along that same spirit, yes, while the world continues to get weaker, if we walk towards righteousness, we can continue to increase in strength with God, right? And that is the calling of man. And men need to step up to the plate, as Dr. Umar prescribed, and put in their mindset that weight is meant for shoulders and not hips. Why are we willing to just get on this 50-50 train and say, oh yeah, well, it needs to be exact reciprocity in a relationship between men and women, right? Where did this whole thing come from? It came from the waywardness of men, the lack of self-control of men, the lack of self-discipline from men. When men decided to step back, Beans, men decided to take a step back, right? And remove ambition from their purview. Remove a solid plan and solid vision to maintain or get to the pathways of success, right? And men have got complacent, right? Men have prioritized
Y'all
lust
piss me off.
and degeneracy, right? Because I'm guaranteeing you this, in this conversation, when Beans start talking, one of the first things he's going to be starting to talk about is sex. I'm willing to guarantee that. Go ahead, Beans. Prove me right.
Romans 13:1. Obey the government, for God is the one who put it there. Why y'all always duck the scriptures that don't benefit y'all arguments? Maybe God is the reason why things look the way that they look. He designed it all. Isaiah 4.
Normally, the old me would have gotten pissed off and would have went on that panel and would have cussed Beans out 4 ways to Sunday. Is it how dare you blaspheming God like this? But then as I get older and I say, I think I understand. I think I understand where these people are coming from. They blame God for everything. They blame Jesus. They blame Christ for everything. Like, no. when God pretty much formed the earth, moon, stars, quasars, and made earth within 6 days, and he rested it on the Sabbath, which is Saturday, not Sunday. When he rested on Saturday, not Sunday, I'll say it again. When he rested on Saturday, not Sunday, everybody thinks that the Sabbath day is on a Sunday. It's not a Sunday. Because Saturday, this is the reason why people go in and do their most fucking up. You blame everything on God. Beans blames everything on God. I don't take it to heart. I don't take it to heart because what I talk to God for is what I talk to God. Right? I could blame God for everything too. But I also look in the mirror at myself because I am a reflection of myself. Sometimes I can say, well, this person screwed me or that person screwed me, and that may be true. But the only thing you can do at that point in time is to move forward. When one door closes, the other one is going to open. Right? And when opportunities are knocking and you get it, the first thing you do is you what? Thank God. Thank you, God, for giving me this job. Thank you, God, for giving me this money. Thank you, God, for giving me this food. Thank you, God, for giving me prosperity. I don't know how to say that. But anyway, thank you for giving me a mind. Why don't you thank God for giving yourself a mind? Why don't you thank God for waking you up every day? Why don't you thank God for when you go to sleep, you know that those kids are going to be okay because you can't protect them 24/7. Because once your eyes close and you're in that second phase of sleep, and you don't know if a burglar is going to come in your house and take your kid's life. That's why God wakes you up. Listen, I have a duty. I have a duty to myself to take care of those kids. And he's going to put that, he's going to have, my adrenaline is going to run high. All because I feel, I sense that my children are going to be in danger. You know who has more senses? You know who has more keen sense than anything? Women. Women have that, see, it's called telepathy, right? Women have telepathy with their children because of the connection within the womb that they are in. And then when their child comes out of their body, they have what's called intuition. Is it intuition? Not intuition. Not intuition. I'm thinking, why do I have school in my head? They have bridge. What's that? What? Help me out here. What's that thing that a woman has whenever, every time their child gets in trouble? What they have? What is that called? It has something to do with the mind. So I forgot what that's called. But anyway, and we only got 2 minutes. So, is it intuition? It might be intuition. The one thing that we need to get through our thick skulls at this particular point in time is that not everything is about them. It simply comes back to is it intuition? It is intuition. So I was right. It is intuition. So when a woman has a I'll explain it. Telepathy. Telepathy is pretty much you're thinking you're going to think usually what the child thinks. At a very early age, you're thinking what the child thinks, thinking what the child needs, and because the child is going to signal to you every time he comes home, every time you come home, what does the child usually say? Mom, I'm hungry. You already know that once you hit the door. You already know that. Mom, I'm hungry. Mom, I'm thirsty. Mama, I'm sick. You already know that. Oh, you can call it instinct. You can call it instinct. You can call it telepathy. Well, you can call it telepathy. I mean, I was just trying to sound smart. They do have primal instincts, something that men don't usually have unless you're like Horus or Self or something like that. Horus had intuition. Seth had intuition. They're both light. One's light, one's dark. Put them all together, what do you got? But anyway, that's what a woman has. And a woman knows. A woman knows what a man's going through. A woman knows. A black woman, a melanated woman knows what a man is going through. His man is going through. Because he knows what the child is going through. That's why we need women. They're smarter than you think. They know how to use their intellect. We know how to use their hands. We in connection with them. We stay with them because we are a part of something bigger than we already know, but we don't practice this because there are too many problems. But and another thing, you're escalating those problems by continuing the cycle. You're getting a woman pregnant and not taking care of your kids is not going to better society. You leaving a man and terminating your womb, not terminating a womb, terminating a baby is not going to better society. We need to do better. It's that simple. But We don't need to keep going in this back and forth. That's why I'm going to be going to the meetings. I'm going to be going to these meetings, these community meetings that the Board of Education. Now, I might do some I might volunteer for after school programs. See where our kids' heads at. I would like to do it at another place. I will most likely would like to do it in my hometown of Lansing, Michigan. But I'm not in Lansing, Michigan. I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada. Right? And I'm here and I'm chilling. Right? I am here and I am chilling. And the only thing I can do is follow up right here, right now, and go to all these particular meetings and seeing what the funds are going to be, seeing what the funds are like, and see what we can do from the back end. But guess what? I know deep within the corruption of governments. So if government is corrupt, then your judges, it could be anybody. Your judges, your legislators, your mayors, it doesn't matter. You just got to have a discussion with them. You do. An election is coming up. So, like I said, like, share, subscribe, share, like, share, subscribe to the channel. It's it forms the question that has not been answered. It has not been answered yet. Do you think, well, you've answered it, Bridge, already. What can a woman respect a man if he is handling his business and if he is going to take the responsibility of raising our boys? Because remember, it does take a village to raise a child. So, and ladies, are you going to do your part as women to raise the girls? Do you want the, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Do you want them to grow up to be sexy reds? Would you like for them to grow up to be Cardi B's? Would you like them to grow up to be Meg Thee Stallions? Would you like for them to grow up to be sex slave workers, climbing up on the poles and stuff like that? When you're in your 20, when you're 21 and you do all that stuff and you got your own apartment, that's your apartment. Hopefully you do that in the privacy of your own home. When you're single, you can do it. When you got a man, you definitely can do it. Right? But I'm talking about these younger females who are inspired by other females who are in the industry. Not just so much in the industry, but in the strip clubs and everywhere else. It's what you're teaching them. Is it going to be helping? What you teach your children, starting from the home, what you teach your children, starting from the home, is it going to be help or is it going to be hindrance? Are you helping or are you hindering? That's what we have to look at. So I am glad that we're gonna continue to have these discussions. I'm gonna be off StreamYard for a little bit, but I'm gonna be on here because this thing is new to me. This thing is new to me. hopefully we're gonna have some people on the panel the next time I come by. Because we need to have these discussions and with other people. And I am so glad that once again that we have people who have supported the channel, people who have become members. Auntie was a member. I think it was last week. Shouts out to Auntie. Hopefully Mahogany Root. Hopefully Mahogany Roots can become a member. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Hopefully, you know, you got some other people that can become members and we can absolutely can grow this channel. And this can be ours. I'm like, Bridge, if you want to use it, you can use it. Or build your own channel so we can come and support Bridge. Or we can constantly go to Mahogany Roots and go and continuously support her. We could continuously support Auntie. Definitely want to give a shout out to L Nixon. L Nix, my brother from another mother. What up, though? And shouts out to Aaron O. I have no beef with Aaron O. That's a brother. That's my brother. Brownsville, Sharon. Even though we need to have that discussion, brother. We need to have that discussion. Your ass is turning too white, balls. Your ass is turning too white. Who else? Who else? Philosophical. That is one strong brother right there. Everybody go to and support Philosophical. That's the man right there. And last but not least, of course, any and every Lisa. She is not feeling too well. Lisa Carter is not feeling too well, but she is. We're moving forward with whatever she has to do, and hopefully she can recuperate from her illness, per se. I'll just tell you, she has an infection. She has an infection in her leg, and hopefully she can get treated before she either you know, it's one of two things that, you know, worst case scenario we won't say, but the only positive thing we can say is she is still up on her toes and she is walking. She is walking slowly but surely. She's still in a wheelchair, but she's walking slowly but surely. All right. But I've encouraged her plenty of times to go to the ER and let them surveillance this woman at least from 24 to 48 hours. At least. She says she hates hospital. I said, I hate hospitals too. When I get sick, I don't want to go to the hospital. When I had nerve damage, I don't want to go to the damn hospital. But I have to go. I don't want them stick. You know how many times this woman has stuck. There are women and men who have stuck me in my arm and in my hand. If they can't get, because if you can't get a pulse, in your vein or whatever, then you're gonna have to get it in your hand. And your hand hurts your hand hurts just worse. All right, be careful out there, dear. Be careful. It hurts just as worse because you want to get it in your vein up here. You don't want to get it in your vein in here. That sucker hurts, and if you ain't getting that vein, just drink water, right? drink a lot of water. And then the vein get to pump, the blood get to flowing and everything. We don't take into account that we drink 15% of water. We should be drinking 70% of water and replenish all that we have lost. Especially when we are exercising, we've lost a lot of water. So we need to retain that water, the stealth water, not that other water stuff. But you get my point. You get my point. Well, we gotta do better. We gotta do better as men and women. That's all. That's it. That's all. But thank you for the support. All of you. Thank you for the support. And we'll come back again pretty soon. Bridge. You are a light. What was I gonna say?